Debt puts a stranglehold around the individual. Today, we will focus on what debt has been doing to millennials. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I've got an interesting set of maps and charts from lendingtree.com, and we're talking today about millennials and their debt. And I think it's very important not just to focus on what's happening with the millennials, but understanding that individuals today are in debt. But it depends on where you look. So we'll take a look at these maps and try to break it down as succinctly as I possibly can. Places where millennials carry the most debt, non-mortgage. So this is a really interesting article that I found, and it really shows you a lot of charts, you get a lot of pictures, and they're interactive as well, so it makes it really digestible. So we can read all the data, but I just want to look at some of the maps and things because it shows us the details that we need to see. So if I could just zoom in, you can actually put your mouse over the area, and if we go to a place like San Francisco, rank number 40, median balance over $20,000. Where millennials carry the most debt, and that's excluding the mortgages. If we go to another place like Pittsburgh, the median balance is over $26,000. We can see here Washington, D.C., it's almost $26,000. And you can basically just go around Buffalo, New York, over $24,000. I mean, this is a problem for a lot of places, not just the total amount, but you have to think, what are the chances that these people are going to get the jobs that they need in order to get out of the debt, right? If you're making minimum wage, it's going to take a long time. If they decide that they need to move out of their parents' home, perhaps for different reasons, suddenly they have very expensive bills that are in place, and this is not a good thing, okay? So when we scroll down here, we're going to get the chart form. Scroll through the table below for data on each metro, and you could see San Antonio tops the list with a median balance of over $27,000. Pittsburgh, Austin, Houston, Jacksonville, and so on. All right, so if you're interested, you could see that list for yourself. You can just go through and see it. The 10 cities where millennials carry the most debt. Okay, looking at that in another chart form, you can see it there. Breaking it down by the city. This happens to be San Antonio and Pittsburgh at the top of the list, but I'd just like to show you that and give you an idea of really what's happening here. Because it's student debt, for one, auto loans, and then they go on to talk about it, and we're not even getting into mortgages. These millennials are buying homes, and unfortunately, I don't think many of them can afford it. It is going to be an issue, if it's not already, with rising interest rates. And with these rising interest rates, it puts additional pressure on anything that's using a variable interest rate. That could be your credit card, that could be your student debt, could be anything. And that's a big risk that a lot of people are taking. Not just millennials, of course. Anyone. Could be baby boomers. Could be anything. Change your federal student loan repayment plan. Enrolling in an income-driven repayment plan, for example, adjust monthly payments downward to match your income, local living costs, and family size to ensure they are more comfortable. And it basically just goes on and gives you tips, all right? So I'm not necessarily agreeing with this website. I'm just going to mention it because I think it's important. I know a lot of people that are in a lot of debt, and there might be some useful tips in here for you as an individual. I'm trying to basically just be a little bit of a help in this regard. So that goes, as I said, for the auto loans, for the credit cards, and you can see the distribution. Now, we can generalize. We could say people in the US are heavily in debt. And that's probably a pretty good generalization. I could say the same thing for Canada, same for people in the UK, Australia, other countries. But we break it down further and you start to get a different picture. So looking at this average distribution of debt types, and you'll see how they break it down. I could show you this here: student debt, auto loans, credit cards, personal loans, and other debts. This student debt is really encompassing a large percentage of the amount that millennials are carrying today. Look at this. Washington, nearly 50% of their debt is student debt. And that's not something that they're just going to be able to walk away from. And it's a lot of money too. We're not talking about, a couple $1,000s in most cases. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars on average. So that's going to hurt them dramatically. It takes a long time to get out of that rut. So then basically it just talks about the methodology here. I don't have, a sort of skin in the game here. I'm not promoting the site, but I think the information in here is good. It's valid. And if you're interested, you should check it out for yourself. I'll end the video there. I just wanted to make it really quick because I know that so many people are indebted, whether it's credit card, whether it's their student debts and things. And it's important to get out of that because it compounds. There are individuals who say, no, I don't want to get out of debt. I'm just going to pay the minimum and so on. I think that's a big mistake because they control the system of debt. The central bankers created this, and they did so not with the intention of helping anybody, but they did so in order to profit. And the longer you stay in debt, the more profit they make. So check it out, lendingtree.com. There will be a link in the description. If you go down to the bottom, under the sources, you'll be able to see the link for yourself. If you just want to go, you can type in lendingtree.com and then go there and find this article. I think it's quite informative. That's all. If you found the video informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, you're supporting this channel, so I do appreciate that very much. And last but not least, if you want the financial education you were not taught in school, well then, these two books have it all. You can get everything you need to know. I talk a lot about debt in here. I talk about getting out of debt. I talk about how to earn income. I teach you about the 4 asset classes. You can flip through these books at Amazon. There's a link in the description of this video. If you're more interested in the audiobook version, you can get that at themoneygps.com.